How are you?
How you doing, sir?
So Mr. Randall, you're charged with failure to identify oneself as a fugitive from justice. That is a Class A misdemeanor. That was from 2022. And I guess you didn't show up for the arraignment, I'm assuming, so we revoked the bond. We issued the warrant. 3 years later, now you've picked up an assault bodily injury. On that one, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. I don't know what happened in the assault, so we're going to find out.
So,
Okay, what happened?
Judge, before we get started, there is some use of profanity that's pertinent. How do you prefer to?
Dude, we don't have virginal ears. You can do whatever you want. Say it.
On April 22nd, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, a law enforcement officer was dispatched to an assault in progress call and made contact with the complaining witness. The law enforcement officer observed the complaining witness to have blood on their face and fresh cuts on his face and near his eye. The complaining witness stated he walked on a bridge and passed the defendant and told him to have a good day. The defendant then stated, "What the fuck did you just say to me? You got a problem." The complaining witness told the defendant that he didn't have a problem and did not want any trouble. The defendant then got into a fighting stance and struck the complaining witness in the face multiple times, took him to the ground, continued striking him, and stuck his finger in the complaining witness's eye. The complaining witness stated he was in fear for his life. A witness corroborated the complaining witness's story.
Any damage to the eye?
Law enforcement officers took pictures of what he recognized to be a bite mark on the complaining witness. I will look for further damage evidence. The officer observed the complainant's eye being red and the bottom part of his eye having a fresh cut and abrasions on both sides of his face and above his forehead.
Okay, Mr. Randall, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case and not to be in possession of weapons.
so
I don't know if you're going to bond out, but if you do, I'm going to put a monitor on your ankle because you're a flight risk.
I'm not gonna go anywhere. I mean, the assault
So
charge.
don't talk about it, really. You have the right to remain silent, exercise the right. That's why you have a lawyer, because whatever you say now, they're going to sit there, type it to try to use it against you. Just best not. So the problem is that I can't give you a PR bond. We gave you a PR bond last time and you took off. Now, 3 years later, you picked up a new case. And the only reason we have you back is because of this. So I can't just give you another PR bond, you know?
And your Honor, Mr. Randall would like me to communicate to the court that he was under the impression that his prior offense was dismissed and it was a misunderstanding, but that he has every intention to satisfy his obligations.
I get it. I understand. Where do you live?
I believe it was kind of in transient at the moment, Your Honor.
And that's a problem because I don't want to just give you another PR bond and you're going to end up on the street. You know,
It's hard to get lodgings here.
allegedly here, they're just wishing you to have a good day. Have a good day. And now, you know,
We have provided him with resources in order to try to find lodging and the like. So I think you said you were going to take advantage of that information that I gave you.
yeah, I'm sorry, I can't. You know, you scare me. You know, you take off. And the only reason we have you back now is because
Sir,
of have a nice day.
no, I didn't take off. I've been right here in the city of Houston. It wasn't a flight risk or me ignoring the conditions of the PR bond. I showed up to the court. Like I said, the discrepancy said just with the criminal justice system up to this point is paramount to pretty much everything.
Who do you have in your life? Where's mom?
Lord.
Where's dad? Where's brother, sister? Who do you have
I'm
in your
here.
life?
I'm on my own. I actually came here to Texas to take care of VA and Social Security disability to acquire a resource to just take care of that simple business and go back to Germany. That was it.
Germany, he said, Your Honor.
But I'm not recluse or a loose cannon, how they trying to paint, it's wrong. That guy,
Don't talk about the facts.
So if you had somewhere to go, like family members that are willing to take you in, I would consider, it. But just to go back on the street. My fear is that we let you out and then the same thing happens again, where you just go out and then we just don't see you again, you know? So I don't know if you can somehow try to reach through some family or anyone that he may have, talk with him, and then I guess we'll go from there. Okay? All right. Good luck,
We're
sir.
asking for a short recess. We spoke with the
Absolutely,
state.
for sure.
We'll try to resolve this.
Maybe a couple days or however long you want. And
So,
yeah. All right. Good luck, sir.
thank you. Comes out right.
Great to see you, man. What's
Pleasure.
your happy Fridays?
Yes, Judge.
Morning, gentlemen.
So these are two U of H pre-law students.
Great.
All right, so Peter and Elijah, their class is getting a tour of the building, and when I was picking them downstairs, they had mentioned that they had seen you and they wanted to meet you.
We
Nice.
saw you on so many times on TikTok, and it's a great honor.
Yeah, I don't know who I don't put it on there, so I have no idea, but
You've gone viral, like I've seen so many times, and I'm amused, like by the way you name it.
By the way, they have no idea who I am.
No, but we know who you are. So we were just wondering if we could just get a picture of you.
Let's skip that part.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm okay
So I
with
know
it.
there's like
Just let
I don't know
me
photography about, but
just do a couple things here and there, and then if you just give me a couple minutes, I'm happy to take a
All right,
picture.
Judge, I've got to actually run to another court, so if you don't mind, can I leave them in your jury box?
No, not in the jury box.
Okay.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you are charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, ma'am. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 17th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, a law enforcement officer was dispatched to a disturbance and made contact with the reportee who stated the defendant had left the scene. While speaking to the reportee, the defendant drove up to the scene and the law enforcement officer observed the defendant exit out of the driver's side of the vehicle and was the only person in the vehicle. The law enforcement officer observed the defendant to have red, glossy eyes, and slurred speech. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. A 6 out of 6 was reported on the HGN. A 3 out of 4 was reported on the one-legged stand. It states here that the other test was refused. The law enforcement officer found an open alcoholic beverage, mostly empty and cold to the touch, in the center cup holder, and several other unopened alcoholic beverages cold to the touch. The defendant refused to provide a specimen. Blood warrant was obtained and executed.
Did you say that there was an accident initially that brought them to the attention or what?
Judge, it just says that the law enforcement officers were dispatched to a disturbance and the defendant drove back to the scene that she had left from.
My fiance.
Stop. Don't. You have the right to remain silent. Exercise that right.
There's no accident, Your Honor. It was just, they were called out to a disturbance. I believe it was a disturbance with. There's a disturbance under the weapon call, Your Honor. They drove up to the location, and made contact with a complaining witness who stated, that the defendant had left the location, and then while they were speaking to the complaining witness,
That's when she comes back.
that's when the defendant came back.
Okay. All right, Ms. Morris, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to drive at all. I'm now going to have you sign an affidavit with me today promising you're not going to drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising you're not going to drive. Do you understand? Because this is a second offense, you will be required to obtain a portable interlock device that you're going to take with you everywhere you go to prove to me that you're not consuming alcohol. I will also randomly test you for drugs. If I find that you're using, I will revoke your bond and put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand, ma'am? You're sending notice to DPS now that I'm placing a restriction on your license that you're not allowed to drive any vehicle that doesn't have a guardian interlock. If you're caught driving a vehicle, it doesn't have an interlock on it, an officer in this state, will know that you're required and they will arrest you and put you in jail. And you're in violation of these bond conditions. Do you understand? You have the ability to hire a lawyer, man. We're going to give you time to hire a lawyer. So what I'm going to do is I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. I'm going to first have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. You will then get with pretrial services for your bond conditions. And then after that, you'll be free to go. Do not use. Do you understand? Alcohol or illegal drugs. It's not going to go well. I didn't say you couldn't work. I just said you. I'm warning you not to drive.
They put an interlock in there already.
Okay.